Hi, I'm Baio. I really enjoy transitions. I love it when a band plays two songs and they find a way musically to get from point A to point B without stopping and tuning their guitar and saying, "Yo, what's up, Milwaukee?" So for the last 9 years of my life, I've played bass in the band Vampire Weekend. And for me, it took a very long time to transition from bass player to songwriter and singer. In the band, I play with incredible songwriters, an incredible producer, an incredible lyricist. And my role is really, bass player, coming up with arrangement ideas, coming up with bass lines. And probably around 6 years ago, I was having ideas for sounds in my head, and I didn't know the first thing about how to translate them into songs. I decided I wanted to get into production and take on new forms.
If you just regret it, don't bring your ass around, wrong. It is what it is, until it was what it...
I consider myself a songwriter as much as a bass player. I consider myself a producer as much of a bass player. And this is, now a place where I get to do that. So I'm psyched on it.
I can tell by the look you mean what you say, like a sentimental crook. It's tough to get away. If it even would matter, I would play every part, but I'm too over-eager and I just false start.
I think it definitely was a long process to figure out what my voice was and what I wanted to sound like. It took me about 3 years to get to a place where I could put my vocals on a track and not be absolutely disgusted by them. It's a process of trial and error, a lot of grunting into my computer, months and months of grunting into my computer and waiting until I liked those grunts. And it took a very long time to come up with a compelling vocal take. Yeah, with my record, I was really trying to make something where you didn't know what was going to happen next. And a lot of my favorite albums are kind of more 70s art rock. I was thinking about records like Maggot Brain by Funkadelic, which opens with a 10-minute instrumental guitar solo and then drops into a bunch of tight, concise pop songs. And it's never contrived, but it's really exciting. On my record, I want it to be the case that if you were to jump 5 minutes forward at any point, it would kind of make no sense. Like, how could these sounds coexist on the same record? But then if you were to go back and listen over the course of those 5 minutes, it made complete and perfect sense. So, I would describe this album as techno and pop, but not techno pop. I've been a DJ for a very long time, and I like the process of kind of building a narrative over the course of a DJ set. Sometimes I'll DJ for 3 hours, and you do get this kind of opportunity to tell a story. And with this record, I really wanted to do maybe a 40-minute story through sound. So the album is called The Names. I called the record The Names for a couple reasons. When I was in my mid-20s, I found out that the square mile town where I grew up is where Don DeLillo wrote all his books. And I always considered it kind of a boring suburban New York town, but the idea that there was a desk in that town where a lot of great works were written, I was very struck by that. When I just saw the title, The Names, I knew that I would call my record, if I were ever to make one, that. Because it has kind of a grandeur to it and a bit of a universality. I think that everyone has a relationship to names on this planet. And, people have been titling records titles for a really long time. And no one's ever called a record The Names. And for me, that's pretty thrilling that you can find a universal title that hasn't been used. And even in the sort of months leading up to announcing the record, I was just paranoid that someone else would call their album, The Names, and then I would have to go back to the drawing board because I knew it was going to be the title of my record for about 5 years. But I'm glad that didn't happen.
So when I talk the straight line, I don't walk. Well, I don't ever like to look that way. The secrets.
The opening 2 tracks on the album, which Brainwash Your Face and The Names, I get to explore the more electronic side of things, and that comes from DJing and playing out a lot. And one of the fun things about playing a live set is that you can think of how to transition between songs, and the record's a little bit that way. Both sides are continuous mixes, and when I play live I tend to play about 20 minutes of continuous music before I then say, yo, what's up, Milwaukee, which is kind of just fun for me.
The scratch marks, red linen. Well, I don't like it either when I stray. The slurred words when I talk, the straight line I don't walk. Well, I don't ever like to look that way.
I would say that I've been thinking about this record for about 5 years. There's still many, many minutes in the day, and I can be on tour and traveling with the band and still sort of be thinking about the record. So a lot of tracks on the album, like a song like Needs, I would have made the instrumental of that at home and then would have taken it on tour on the last Vampire Weekend tour. Gotten up in the morning, gone for a walk in whatever city we were in, and start trying to write lyrics and hooks for it. So it definitely was a kind of long process to come to the point where this record's now coming out. I think maybe the most exciting part for me is that I've been thinking about this record for a really, really long time. And now that the songs are out there, it's not my secret anymore. Getting to go and play a couple shows, we've played 8 shows now. Actually be in a room with the music playing loudly and get to share that with other people, that's kind of the most exciting part for me. Hi, this is Chris Baio, aka Baio, and you're watching Baeblemusic.